Hey everyone, it's Jim T. Graham with RC Groups, and you've reached a very special RC Groups podcast. This is a kind of show that you might learn a lesson from, like a Saturday afternoon if you're watching a movie on Channel 5 as a small child, except I don't know what the lesson's going to be. It's just a very special episode. We're joined by many of the Illuminati of the RC Groups world. We have, of course, Mean Joe Vermillion.
What up, y'all?
Mean Joe is going to talk to us about some reviews. I'm going to fix everything here and talk about some things that have been recently released on the site. And next to him is Nikolai. Nick, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
We're bringing Nick in to see what he's been doing in the world of RC. I sound like I'm on a bad TV show. I need to stop talking this way. Let's go to Matt Gunn, Maticus Gunnicus. Matt Gunn, I have something to tell you.
Talk to me.
I tried to bring you a present for today.
What was it?
Well, I made a phone call.
Okay.
We were talking yesterday. Well, maybe it was last week. I don't know. Time really is slipping by here. But we were talking about Jerry L. Smith, 9-time Funfly World Champion, and I was trying to impersonate him, right?
That's correct. I do remember that.
Well, I had a long talk with Jerry L. today, which is why the camera on this computer isn't working. And I tried to get Jerry live on the broadcast so you could meet him.
You know, I've actually met him once. We talked about this. I met him, and I was actually taken aback by how cool Jerry was. You know, and I'm not like tooting his horn here. That doesn't sound right. But it was like we'd known each other for years. He's like, Matt Gunn, how you doing? Or however Jerry says it. Regardless, great guy.
Well, he said, Jim, you've really kept me in the spotlight, and I appreciate that. And I said, Jerry L., it's not about keeping you in the spotlight. You're a friend of mine, and I feel like I need to thrust you upon everyone in the RC world who doesn't know you. And he goes, well, he laughed. He said, well, that's great, Jim. I'm at the mall. I'll talk to you later.
No. Oh, man. Let's just hope he wasn't holding his wife's purse as she shopped for things in a women's store. Because
Jerry L's a bachelor. He's got him a girlfriend in Nashville. That's when sometimes we see him. He comes in here and takes her to dinner, and then he eats lunch with us. But Jason, he promised he was going to come see us and felt bad that he hadn't seen us in so dang long.
I didn't realize he was in Nashville.
He's not. He's in Paducah, Kentucky, but his girlfriend's in
Kentucky. Ah, that's cool.
He has a long distance relationship, man.
3 hours. That's probably about the right distance you should keep away from your girlfriend.
Easy now. We're supposed to be talking about radio controlled.
All right, now we're passing it on to Jason Cole. I don't know. It's hard to call someone the top pilot, especially when you have Nick and Joe and Matt standing here. I guess it's all depends on the discipline. But Jason Cole, what's happening?
Well, I'm going to feel distant in this podcast, and that is because I'm copying the names of all of our commenters and pasting them into a spreadsheet for our big giveaway today.
Quick question. How many comments do you have right now? Go.
Oh, I don't know. Too many. I'm up to like 18 names.
Wow, man. So there's going to be a lot of people commenting for a chance to do what?
There's so many people on right now.
Isn't there an app for that?
This is going to be like
that you can plug in.
Jason, why don't you drop a little information on the giveaway? Don't give away the story yet. Let's save that for a little bit more in, but I'll say we have more viewers today than we've ever had. I'm going to go.
That's right. Well, for all you guys that are on here that aren't on here because you know about the giveaway, we've got a fun little story that we'll tell later, but I'm going to be giving away a set of Spectrum Fatshark Teleporter V4 video goggles. $200, I believe. I think they're $199 in value.
Jason, those are beautiful, beautiful goggles.
I'm actually going to be shipping them out on my dime.
Yeah, all of this is not. I saw a post. I hate negativity. I'm not going to go there, but I saw a post, and then Jason, you clarified very quickly. This is not some sort of giveaway from a company. This is a giveaway from you and another person, which we'll talk about a little bit on in the podcast as we get more people on live.
That's right.
Somebody went negative on us already. Anyway.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Well, are we still doing introductions or can I talk about something?
No, introductions are over.
Introductions are over. Can I just say that I'm super excited that this worked, and I didn't think it would. Let me share my screen real quick with you guys. All right.
Faster, Jason.
Right here.
Faster.
I'm referring to my article I did yesterday on the ban on flying in national parks.
Which I want to say, Jason, I did pass this on to the AMA just this morning.
That is awesome, and that probably has to do with why I'm pretty excited. What the story here, you don't have to read all this right now, but this is where I learned how to fly on the Lump Overlook off the Blue Ridge Parkway in the mountains of North Carolina. And these guys, Lee and Mike, Ashley, a couple of these guys were the guys that were there that taught me how to fly. Nice. That gave me everything I needed for this hobby, and basically kickstarted my passion and hobby and career. So I owe a lot to these guys, and they called me. We stay in touch from time to time, and they contacted me early last week and said, hey, there's, since 2014, there's been a ban on flying in the national park services on, federal parks, state parks, whatever. And the Lump Overlook off the Blue Ridge Parkway is considered federal property, and they're not allowed to fly up there. But the rangers and everybody that's around there don't care. They think it's awesome. Like, it's just they refer to this policy memorandum that was passed that prevents that. Yeah. And we all know it's due to the drones and people flying where they shouldn't be and that kind of thing. But it doesn't make any sense why you shouldn't be able to fly sailplanes over the trees off this, hill.
Sure, they're silent. They don't disturb wildlife, and they just got lumped in with the guys that drop them into the hot springs, so to speak.
So they asked if I could write an article, and I'm like, you know what? This is a great idea. I'd love to highlight this a little more and see if anybody has made any progress at other sites or knows any information that can be used to hopefully let common sense prevail and open this site back up. So we did it, and we've got a lot of posters, a lot of conversation going on.
Tell me there's some good news.
But there's some pretty cool news. So Tony Stillman from the AMA, Flying Site Assistance Coordinator. Yes. So he posts and says, I will be taking this issue directly to the National Park Service in D.C. along with Chad Berneau of the AMA Government Relations team. I am hopeful that a work around can be created. Basically, they're saying AMA members that have an AMA chartered club can get permission to fly on National Park Service's lands in a singular location for the club kind of thing. So they're going to work with one of the guys, Mike Ashley, that's there in that area. And I'm going to be a part of the club. We're basically going to create a club. They're going to take this up with DC, and they're going to work to open this site for soaring again.
Excellent
work. I'm super pumped.
Nice. Wow. That was
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I was going to say, like you, Jason, I didn't think it would happen so fast. I also want to give credit where credit is due. My contact was Randy Cameron, the new vice president of the AMA. And so I wrote him this morning. Randy and I are personal friends from hanging out at shows together. And I said, hey, Jason Cole created this article, and he asked me to push it along to anyone in the AMA. And I'm not kidding you. I did it this morning. I don't know, 9 o'clock before I finished my coffee. And then this has already been handed off in action. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Good work. That's a good bit of positive spin on an otherwise bleak outlook from the FAA. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Totally. Nice job, Jason.
So I'm going to push it over to Mr. Mean Joe Vermillion. And if you don't know how Mean Joe got his nickname, and stop me if I'm wrong, your nickname was not Mean Joe Vermillion, but I thought your nickname was Mean Joe Vermillion because Matt Gunn said it was, and I yelled it at you at Toledo like 9 times. Mean Joe, Mean Joe. And finally you turned around like, me? Is that how you got your nickname?
It is, actually, yes.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Man, it stuck like it had CA on it with some kicker. It just went, pow, stuck right there. So it works good.
Mean Joe has a birthday party to go to.
Yes.
For his daughter. How old will your daughter be?
Oh, geez, what, 28?
The perfect age. I feel 28 right now.
You look 28.
You look 28. Oh, no, wait, I'm looking at Terry's.
Yeah. So what we wanted to get Mean Joe on for, and the reason that we've jumped over to him, is so that he could take care of some informational business before he had to go and eat pasta. That's an assumption. I don't know what they're going to eat at his birthday dinner.
Close.
What is it?
Pizza.
Pizza. Same, right country. I am now going to go to a review recently done by you.
Yeah, we got it up.
All right.
On you're sharing this one, so take her away.
So, Mean Joe, I'm going to introduce it. If you went to Toledo last year, you probably saw this gigantic airplane hanging up over the Hobbico booth. And I said, I forget how it happened, but I know that you were there, I was there, and we were like, that should be a review. So
absolutely,
take it away, Mean Joe.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. We were hanging out at Toledo doing our thing and walked over in that direction. And it was kind of funny because we both looked up at the same time and we're like, yeah, we should do a review on that. And that was all it took.
And this, I'm trying to, okay, here we go. So the specs are, it's a $600 bird, but it has a 74-inch wingspan. And that
126.
Yep, you're right. 126-inch wingspan, and there's so much glass in that canopy. It looks like they're trying to grow vegetables of some sort.
Yeah.
Hey-o.
Yeah. Actually, I gotta say, this thing was put together fantastically for the size. When that box arrived, I thought I was going to spend hours with the iron and the heat gun trying to get the covering sorted out. But I want to tell you, that thing came to the house flawless. I never touched it
at Joe Nall, didn't you?
Never touched it with an iron, not once. So yeah, it's phenomenally built. I do believe that is a greenhouse under there.
Well, look at all that room. You could put a few things in there.
Yeah, we had actually a podcast early on where I had the cowl on my head, and those of you guys that know me know that my head is gigantic. It actually touched my shoulders on both sides. So.
Go back right there. See where it says rudder and elevator servos installed? I feel like I'm on the second floor of a mall looking down into
Right.
Yeah. The amount of bracing in that is ridiculous. They really thought that thing out awesome. There's room in there for everything. I even was able to, that right there is my added, I added a servo there on the side to do the choke. So there was no problem with room. Everything fit fantastically.
So we haven't even said yet what we're looking at. This is the Phoenix model Lysander. It is available from Horizon Hobbico. Hobbico. Tower Hobbies, y'all. And she's a beaut.
There was literally only one thing on this whole airplane that I was not 100% happy with, and that was the pilot.
Yeah.
Only problem that I saw at all.
Was he just not scale enough for you?
Yeah, jaundice or something, right? He's a little
yeah, they just, those pilots that they get over there and send for these airplanes, they just don't look real. They finish them with a glossy finish. You know, they just don't look like people.
Knife edging it right there?
There's a little rudder in there. Yeah.
I can't believe how small the
rudder.
Well, the base of the wings are where it connects to the fuselage. It is. I mean, it looks like it's all glass around it too. I'm amazed that it stays together, but it looks like you put it through its paces pretty well.
Yeah, it's actually built up pretty well around that area. I was concerned with the same thing because the wing is so thin. I honestly, when I first got the thing, I honestly thought it was going to have issues with flight based on the shape of the wing because of how thin it is up by there. But that thing flies amazingly. It really does.
I see what you mean about the pilot. Looks like a growth off the side of his face.
Yeah.
And who knew
it's not scale, you know, it's
Blade sunglasses.
That pilot would look good in a sailplane. Not in a World War II warbird.
I think I think 3D printed scale pilots totally doable and I must.
They're kind of hard to find. People are starting to do more 3D pilots, but I remember looking 6 months ago, and there was really not a lot of 3D pilots.
Sounds like an open field.
Well, what I did was I actually went out and got a G.I. Joe. I found a G.I. Joe. I think it's the one of the ones from Pearl Harbor. He comes in his military gear.
The 12-inch figures, yes. Yeah,
and I was going to put him in after the review.
Joe, I think I vote this the best photo of the whole bunch.
Is that one of yours?
No, that's actually Dan Landis' father.
Oh, look at the 3-bladed propeller on it. Looks really nice.
Sorry, I clicked off. But that was an awesome photo. I was just talking about Dan Landis today to two different people. The team captain of Futaba, and we have news about that I'll talk about after we get off this topic. So,
hey, Joe, how is that wing attached to the fuse?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand. I couldn't hear you, bud.
How is that wing attached to the fuse?
Okay, so it has you go through the top, and I don't know if there's a picture of it or not.
I'm scanning right now.
Yeah.
There better be.
So it's got those. You go through the top end, and it connects. I'm trying to think of how to explain it.
I'm gonna hunt for a video while you think.
Yeah, there's one on there.
Does it go into like a metal fork and you put bolts?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those fork ones with the pressure fitting on it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like the Spitfire I'm working on now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, y'all, Mean Joe V here. Buy a war
World War II fighter race.
Loose lips sink ships.
He's a star among stars. He eats bologna at night and steak in the daytime. Look at him go. He's a moonshiner from
Sweet river veins.
I have to say that is my favorite part of doing the podcast. I love
Honey Moon Pie. He's at it again. Look at Mean Joe with his new blade styling sunglasses.
Oh my gosh.
He's a diggity dog. Okay.
This doesn't show. Apparently, this doesn't show the wing going in, does it? Or,
I don't show any.
It's a good-looking bird. Now, those wheel pant lights do not work, right?
No, and that was one of the other mods I was planning on.
It's such a beautiful thing. You got to get the wheel pant lights in there.
Yeah, the thing about this is the pots are there. Everything is there. To make the modification, all you got to do is add a light. It's already there. It's already set up. Probably the worst part about that is to get it in there correctly. You'd have to pull. They've got that tape around the light fixture. All you'd have to do is pull that tape off and then get some new tape and put the tape down. I mean, would be so simple to do.
Crimped wire makes me nervous.
That it does. You got to have a good crimp.
Oh God! And if you don't, you're not going to have an action.
It just
Everybody stopped it.
I'm telling you, it went into silent mode. What can
We just lost 300 live users when you guys started doing that. by the way.
It just went full electric. Is it gas or electric?
Gas.
Gotta go gas.
DLE 61.
All right. Nice. All right. This isn't all. We have more. Let's jump back to the homepage.
No, hold on a second. You didn't get to the best part of the video.
Okay. Stall turn.
Stall turn. You gotta fast forward a little bit.
Oh, well, what are we looking for?
There's a killer knife edge in here.
All right, so give us an idea. Where is it at?
Right about there.
Right about here?
Yeah, it's close to that. It's the very last pass.
I'm about less than halfway through.
Oh my gosh, guys, this chat is ridiculous. I can't keep up.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah, that is a nice little
inverted knife edge. If there's
outside turn on the knife edge, man, that's some negative G's for the pilot.
Oh, is that you or is that Dan Landis?
That's actually Chip Hyde.
Oh, of course it is.
Of course.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That was the coolest part.
Well, it's a good review, a good-looking plane.
Doesn't Chip live with Dan Landis now?
No.
I thought Chip lived there now.
No, he stayed there for a while. I think he's back in California doing his thing.
All right.
They were hanging out.
Okay. I'm laughing at not that, but something that just went by on the screen. We're going to find another review by Mean Joe Vermillion. Here's some stories. And the sidebar, by the way, is a very valuable tool on the index page if you're not aware of it.
That it is.
We're now looking at features, and now we're to reviews. Mean Joe, would you like to talk about the Graupner MZ-24?
Absolutely. I'll talk about whatever you would like.
Do you happen to have it laying around?
I do, but I'm not sure exactly where.
These are my spirit colors, by the way.
Those are your spirit colors?
Yeah, I almost need to own this just because it's my spirit colors.
It's a hot-looking little transmitter, I must say.
Oh, I got it. Hold on.
Wow.
RCgroups.com. Hey, for all our new viewers, if you're not aware, we do provide RC news and event knowledge and things like that, but we also are stupid quite a bit. So just take the sweet and the salt.
You don't have to explain that.
I don't.
Joe,
No,
you did some
man.
fancy video work there in that intro.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, during the review process, Joe comes to me and says, "Hey, man, what do you think of my intro?" And I'm like, "Love it."
Look at
Like,
this
all right,
thing.
now I'll start on the rest of the review.
Is that a touchscreen, Mean Joe?
Dude,
It is,
you need a hand model, man.
right?
So tell us a little bit. What do you like about the old Graupner MZ-24 Pro?
So there's a little bit of a learning curve for me. This was my first Graupner transmitter, and I had to get used to the because things are called out a little bit different. A lot of the function menus and stuff, once you figure out what they're talking about, because there are a couple of differences in how things are called out towards the programming. Once you figure out what's it calling out, the programming is super simple. They've got a wizard on there that walks you right straight through setting your airplanes up. And then once you get the initial setup done, you can go back through into that function menu and start fine-tuning all the different things you want to fine-tune. I really like the way they have the wizard set up because it literally walks you through everything. It takes you from start to bind all the way through to putting in your dual rates and expo and everything right in the wizard. Obviously, it's a nice looking transmitter. It's got plenty of switches. Everything's programmable. I didn't have any problems with it. I really liked it. I thought it was nice.
You know, me, Joe, in the live chat, all the users want to know, how are the sliders?
They're fantastic. I've actually got it right here. First thing I wanted to point out.
Okay, I'm going to jump off the video.
Got it.
Was it comes with this fantastically cool hard case.
That is a nice case. You know, that is a
Really
valuable
nice.
commodity in our industry. You got to have a good case. And the fact that it comes with it,
Well,
wonderful.
part of what I talk about in the review was, you know, for the price of the transmitter, they're basically throwing in what would be, I would guess, correct me if I'm wrong, probably about a $200 case. You know, in
somewhere
between
in there. Yeah.
150 and 200 just for the case. So the sliders right here, I like that they have them. They're vertical, and if you, it's not easy to hit them. I know a lot of complaints with the sliders on some of the other transmitters. If you hold your fingers wrong, you're going to inadvertently turn the slider. With these, they're kind of recessed a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Are they smooth or notched?
They're both
They
notched.
sound notched.
They're both notched.
I wonder if there's an anti-notching mechanism that you.
There probably would be. To be honest with you, though, me and Joe doesn't really like sliders.
I mean, me and Matt doesn't either. Oh,
I like them for pan and tilts.
I don't use them.
Oh, there you go, Jim.
Like the dials. You know, there's a lot of folks in here that like to use dials for flaps and stuff. I hate that.
Yeah, I never used a dial in my history of RC.
I would much rather use a 3-position switch for flaps.
Me too.
I don't need to, you know, the argument it's always is, well, you can dial it in a lot better. Well, I don't need to dial it in that much. I get it programmed how I like it, know what the plane does, and then I know exactly where it's going to go each time.
Yeah,
Man.
having to look down is a pain on those dials.
And how am I
Yeah.
supposed to fly and turn a dial?
Right, exactly.
I mean,
It's difficult.
I'm always on the rudder. I fly the rudder on planes that don't even have rudders, so that's how much I'm on
Yeah.
the
See, I don't like to take my fingers off the sticks, and I pinch so I can flip all the other switches without ever removing my fingers from the switches.
Let me ask you a question, Mean Joe. Do you ever, I pinch the same way as you do, and do you ever get your finger stuck in the well? Like get your thumb, you're going all the way down, and you get a finger, and you can't get your stick all the way down?
Well, if that's happening, what you need to do is extend your arms out, or your
Gimbal stick.
Yeah, how did I not think of that?
That's a good idea.
Couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, just extend them out. I never have that issue because I always, first thing I do when I get my transmitters is I loosen up the stick and I push it out as far as it'll go and then retighten it.
Oh, you get a little leverage behind it, huh?
Now,
One
for
of the
me-
things that's a little kind of nice about this one, I don't know if you can see it on the video. I can't see, so I don't know if it's on there or not. It's got these really gnarly stick ends.
Hold it up a little bit, buddy.
Yeah. We were looking at the other side.
I don't think it's presenting. There it is.
Oh yeah, Futaba has the same
there.
ones. In fact, they dig into my fingers.
Yeah, they're like
yeah.
it's torture.
It's kind of like medieval.
So for those of you weirdos that still fly thumbs,
Oh, dude, you're getting into uncharted territory now.
it's perfect for that.
I
never
sort
get
of
stuck
a
in the
hybrid.
wheels. I'm right out on the ends most of the time.
You know,
put
I
my
was
thumb down
watching.
on top.
I was watching Jay Stucia tear it up. I guess last summer, and he's a thumber. He's a thumb on
He
top.
is.
Yeah.
He indeed is.
So
Yeah.
am I. I am
He's a
too.
thumber. He's a dropper. So he does that whole down by his knees, holding it flat down. I don't know.
I tried to be cool like that with all the cool kids and do that, and then I realized I'm 40 years old and there's no going back.
I call that
Right.
the gunslinger. And
I call that a good way to crash your airplane if you've never done it before.
AJ flies that way too.
It sort of detaches you from the aircraft. You're putting your hands way down. To me, I might as well be flying it behind my back because it's very not natural. So.
Nah, not
Yep.
for me either. Everything's upside down too at that point. You got to think backwards.
Mhm.
I have some medical news. I didn't bring this up originally because I wasn't sure where it was going to go. I'm not sure if y'all have kept up. Andrew Jeske, we've known him since he was a kid. I have anyway. And, you know, he has AJ Aircraft now, advertiser on the site. Thank you very much. Also, before we get off the Graupner stuff, I want to say a big thanks to Manny at Graupner, who's always supported the site and always takes care of us with gear.
Here.
As he did with me, Joe.
Manny's awesome.
But Andrew Jeske had some eye issues, which, you know, is bad for a pilot. And he went in and had a melanoma. Is that what he had in his eye? He had a cancer type in his eye.
Yep.
Yeah. Which would make
It was
sense.
wrapped around his cornea, I think you said.
Right. So they went in yesterday, or they went in, not yesterday, but a few days ago, and it was extended because it wrapped around a part of his eye. They weren't sure where it was going to lead. So the end of the story is they feel like they got it all out and he is back to normal. They're going to check him up to make sure there's nothing showing back up in the future. But at this point in time, he's cleared.
Did he lose sight in that eye?
No.
No,
Wow.
it's a growth that wrapped around little parts of his eye, and they went in and untangled it and took it out.
Wow. Did you see the post where he was flying the next day or something like that? He went out flying with a patch over his eye, and he was killing it. So.
Yeah, the last update I saw was from his mom, Linda. The doctors said things are looking better than they expected, and he should be back to limited abilities next week.
Good.
Yeah. Can you imagine getting that news thinking, my goodness, what am I going to do? And I'm so happy that it turned out the way it did.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, man.
It is.
Especially for people like us who stare at the sky all the time. Everyone, we've been joined by Nell Graham. This is a good friend.
Hi,
Oh,
Nell.
look at her nuzzling in on you, dude. Here, let me share your screen.
Nell Graham.
Whoa. Cookie crisp.
This is the silliest dog I've ever had.
Man, that dog and the cat, the semiotic relationship those two animals have is just kind of weird.
The cat is a boy, and Nell, of course, is a girl, and that's Nell's boyfriend. So, Jason, we're halfway into the hour, just about straight up, and I think it's time for you to tell your story.
All right.
Here,
So
let's go ahead and share your screen here.
I got a random phone call a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't know the number, but I answered it. Normally I don't answer it, but I answered it. And it was a guy, and he said, "Is this Jason Cole?" And I said, yes, it is. Who is this? And he was like, told me his name, and he said, I just wanted to tell you thank you for helping me get in the hobby. He says, you probably don't remember me, but you were flying at a school down the road from where I live, and I saw you flying out there, and I went out and talked to you for a little bit, and you gave me your number and told me about RC groups and told me how to get started. And I hadn't talked to you since, but I got into the hobby. It's been a couple of years now, and
Nice.
I'm just loving it. And then I've got this jet now that I want to fly, but I wondered if you could help me kind of set it up and make sure it's everything's straight on it before we go fly it. I said, sure, I'd come do that. So I went over to his house, and I didn't remember the guy, but I was flying my DLG. And then I remember some person coming over and talking to me briefly about it, but I don't remember the conversation. But apparently, like, I helped him get started in the hobby. So we go over to his house, and he's got all these airplanes now and FPV and he's doing the whole thing. And he's like, that was great. So that was awesome. So I helped him set up his jet, got a stabilizer installed on it, and, got it all tweaked out and everything working right. And so he, handed me some money, and I said, "Nah, I don't need money. I do this. This is great." He's like, "No, I just want you to know I really appreciate you." And he's like, "I've got these goggles here too. I don't know what to do with them. I don't need them. I have got this other stuff." And I was like, "You know what? I can probably find somebody to get those goggles to." I was like, that'd be great. I know lots of people that are trying to get in the hobby or trying to do FPV for the first time. But then I was like, we do have a live show. It'd be great to give those away on the show. So I told that to Jim and Matt, and they thought that was a good idea. So that's where we are today. And this is the set right here.
So what's this gentleman's name, or does he not want to be?
What's his username, maybe?
Well, I don't even know his username. I'll have to find out. His name's Lucian. We're going to go fly when it's warmer, fly the jet that I set up for him.
I hope Lucian's watching the show right now.
Yeah, because it's too dang cold to fly. Except today it's 69 degrees, Jim. Did you see that?
Yeah,
did you say 69 degrees is too dang cold?
69 degrees outside. But it is 14 mile per hour winds, though.
It's going to snow tomorrow.
Yeah.
Same here.
Stupid.
We got 60 degrees in Michigan. Woo!
Yeah, man. We're supposed to get 8 inches of snow tomorrow.
Yeah, 29 tomorrow.
So back on track. I think one thing I thought about this is it was really cool. Like I not that I'm tooting my own horn or anything. I didn't do really much, but it's just kind of neat to be able to instill your passion into someone else and then see them enjoy it and, do that for what they want to do for fun and their pastime. So I'll probably write an article at some point of have you gotten anyone else in the hobby? I'll have to come up with a good title. But
that's good.
That is a good one, Jason.
Like, what do you do to do that? Get stories from other people of how they've helped kids train and, be trainers at their clubs, learn how to fly. So I think that's cool. It's a good hobby, kind of heartwarming story. So
you better remember
that because we just were talking about that today.
Is that right?
Yeah. I recently got elected as vice president of my club, and me and the guy that got elected president were just having that conversation literally today. And exactly the same thing. How do we get more people involved? We're dealing with a situation where we're possibly going to lose our field. We're going to have to shop for a new field, and that's exactly what we were talking about is what can we do to get more people in? So it's awesome.
I remember when Jason, you told us that you were going over to this guy's house off of RC Groups, and I was like, make sure you tell us where you're going. But this is one of these good stories that ends up with a really good not that we've ever had any issues. I'm totally kidding around. But that's really a good story that you can that he paid it forward after you taught him how to fly, and then he paid it forward, and now somebody on this live broadcast is going to get a pair of goggles from it. So
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I think
That's
I'm
awesome.
ready.
Oh, wait, we can't do it yet.
Okay, we're not going to do it yet.
We're going to wait a little bit. We won't make you last till the end, but let me tell you something. If everybody leaves after we give the goggles away, we'll know who our friends are. But I have some news. We're friends with Triple Tree and the folks at Triple Tree. And we really feel that way when we're at Joe Nall, when we're in our golf carts with our cameras, running and gunning and talking to, and they're like, Jim, come here. And so I actually do feel a part of Triple Tree at this point in the game. Kind of like
we've been
PR.
covering it long enough. We should.
Yeah, well, we are. That is what we do. And that's our role there at Triple Tree, that and to have a great time. So there's some announcements. I will make this brief. You can find the story on rcgroups.com or on flygiants.com. I put it on both. Triple Tree has created ACE, the Aviation-Centered Education Program, and it's for kids of 8 to 18 years of age.
Yep.
And this is a great way to stimulate the youth demographic of our hobby and try to get them in. Guys like AJ and Jace and people that tend to not only they get in and then turn it into a career sometimes in full-scale aviation or engineering or things like that. And so you can go to the Joe Nall Triple Tree website to check that out once again. Yep, right there on Flying Giants. And you can head over to the Triple Tree site to learn more about that.
So there's some really cool stuff in this article, Jim, that you put up here. They've now they're expanding to have a expanded ladies bathhouse. So everybody knows that every single year we get more and more wives coming, girlfriends, family, all sorts of stuff like that. And apparently there's been a lot of lines for the ladies' shower area, and they are expanding that exponentially, adding a whole new shower area down near the 3D line. Am I correct?
Now, did you see the spy photo today of that?
I did not.
Somebody went on Google Maps and saw what looks to be the new bathhouse, but it's in the 3D pits, kind of to the right side of the gazebo where those first 3 tents would live.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to go look at it.
So that's interesting. But what we're really interested in as a team, because, people, let me just, some years are great. Some years the weather doesn't kill you, but I've been there where I literally have I've spent a week being heat stroked after the show. Don't drink Mountain Dew at Joe Nall, y'all. It's bad. So I'll come at you like a monkey on Mountain Dew. But
all fists and elbows.
The air-conditioned pilot's lounge is being built, and I'm really curious to see if we can get a little internet up in there. I know that it's almost impossible to get good internet that far back in the woods, but that would be awesome to not only cool down, but to be able to upload as well.
I agree. Absolutely. It would be nice.
The Frosty Dog is over, so that happened, but the chili fly-in is February 10th.
Yep. I'm trying to get Triple Tree's website up here. It's taking a second.
Right at the bottom, tripletreeaerodrome.com. Go check them out. Triple Tree is good for the hobby, and if you have, I'm going to say it again, if you're an RC pilot and you don't know what show you're going to go to this year, don't even question me. Just book your hotel room and go to Triple Tree. It is the Disney World of RC. There's nothing bigger. The only thing that's comparable is Oshkosh, and that's for full-scale people.
Do you remember when Seth and Joe Nall sort of happened at the same time? I'd say back in 08, 09 and areas like that. And I never really understood it. And people were like, oh, you should go to Joe Nall instead of going to Seth. Well, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And if I had known then what I know now, I would have been. I mean, I love Seth. I loved everything about Seth. I had some of my best memories were at Seth. But, man, Joe Nall is in a league of its own.
And Seth is an electric-based event, and Joe Nall is like, in the old days, it was only giant scale, and it was a very big difference between the two events. But now Joe Nall is electric line, 3D line, 14-acre lake, $2 million worth of giant scale airplanes on the top, quadcopters, FPV, not so much. But
FPV's in there, but you saw that thread where people were a little upset that they wanted to think, and I give them credit because it is a high noise floor there, but they wanted to, they were kind of assuming that maybe the giant turbine jets that crashed last year were a result of 5.8.
Is that proven or just a theory?
It's a theory. I put in I stepped into the lion's den and sort of put in my little bit there and said, they're not 5.8 is not a harmonic of 2.4. Therefore, it should not interfere. However, it does contribute to the noise floor. So, it did. It's a very high RF environment, and it's sad that those, $10,000+ jets went in, but I don't know. It's a little far-fetched, in my humble opinion, to blame that on the FPV that was happening at Joe Nall, and I'll end that right there.
Mean Joe, let us know when you got to go. And in the meantime, Jason Cole, this involves you. I thought it would be cool to share. Thank you. To share the RCG Place of the Month. This is something that we do every month, and the goal was to originally highlight fields and clubs across the country. And the goal here is to strengthen the hobby and make the hobby great and make you aware of places you might not know about. So, Jason, you did the story. Why don't you talk a little bit about Casa Grande RC Flyers?
Yeah, well, you can see right there what they are.
Looks very sandy.
It's pretty cool that they have the RC Group's logo in Sanskrit.
They actually spray painted that on there for this satellite image.
I believe that's either sand art or tiles. I'm not sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, I think the bigger story here is, these only really apply if you're in these areas, right? If you're near Casa Grande.
Nice accent.
It's just kind of cool to highlight some of these awesome clubs that are out there doing things and having events and training and teaching kids. And I think that was a part of this club's mantra. And they actually have an RC car track there too. So it's more than just aviation. But the place is, I think is a little known site feature. where you can go in and search within a radius. You can look at the RC map. You can find all of these places that are hobby shops, flying sites, car tracks, clubs all over the world. And it's amazing how many there actually are. And you can search by like your city or zip code, or I like using the map and just zooming in. Like we've got my wife's kind of business that she does has a big event in Utah and near Salt Lake City. And so I went on the map and I was like, is there any slope sites up in the mountains there? Because I might want to tag along, and go too. And so it's just great for finding new places if you're going on vacation and I want to fly wherever I'm going and kind of hook up with the locals there that are doing that. So it's just good source of data and information.
And what I would like to say is if you have a field or a club or something you want to highlight like this, be sure to shoot us an email or a PM via the site. And we would love to write a story and feature your club.
For some reason, your places link is not there. I clicked on RC Groups. My places link is right there.
It's down in the story, Matt.
What's that?
It's right underneath the picture in the story.
No, I'm saying for anybody that's not in the I'm talking about the places link at the top of RC Groups homepage.
There it is. My page.
It was,
Jim's got the.
I had it scrunched, so
I saw you looking for it. I'm like, that's odd. It's always there.
It's like, should I say something? I was like, I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing.
So this is a great feature because you can dial in as many, the distance as far or as close as you want to. I've used this a lot because I moved from Atlanta up to Cleveland, Ohio, where I live now. I knew nothing around here. I found a slope soaring field less than 3 miles from my house, and that got me into slope soaring. I found it with this app. So excellent work.
This is everything near me. This is where I learned to fly, Edwin Warner. And man, I was thinking, Jason, they were flying out there like when it was 10, it wasn't 10, but it sure wasn't.
Oh, they were crazy, yeah.
And I'm chilly flying, bro.
Hey, let's see if this works. Visit the website. By the way, Jason Cole and I both worked at Hobby Lobby. Hey.
Oh, it's the other side.
That didn't work.
It's no longer called Hobby Lobby.
I can fix that.
Oh, I just heard
Hobby Lobby is for sale, everybody.
Yeah, it goes to the highest bidder. Jason, don't you have that on your phone or something?
What's the new name of the Hobby Lobby?
Hobby
Express.com.
If you would like to own a hobby store,
yeah,
we should move our places database to a phone app.
That'd be cool.
Note to self.
You're preaching to the choir, my brother.
All right, so I love the Telemaster, and I hope that it remains even after. If they close up and nobody buys this, don't let the Telemaster die.
58-year heritage. Jason Cole and I are a part of that heritage. 200,000 plus people, 65,000 active email lists. That's pretty good. Facebook, blah blah blah. And is there any bids yet? I don't believe there are.
I guess you got to log in. The only thing I don't like about this, it seems a little bit weird, is the website available separately? Because it says website with responsive design available. So what does that mean? Does that mean you don't get it with the bid, or does that mean it's there if you want it? I don't know. I'm a little confused here.
They probably pay a service, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I guess you would have to continue the hosting service, of course. But
man, somebody out there wants it. I just thought it was interesting that this has actually occurred. Jason found this the other day.
Hey, look at that. Oh, I thought that was on the website.
All right, I'm going to jump off of here if I can. I
got you covered.
STOP. All right, y'all. Jason, let me look. Yes, this is kind of 3/4 into the podcast. Do you have all the names gathered?
I have, yeah. I mean, to the best of my ability, I do. I've been keeping up with it literally this whole time. So I'm looking at a spreadsheet of 119 names.
Well, nice. we have 130 viewers right now, though.
Well, it's not my problem.
Maybe some people aren't talking.
Gotcha. I mean, I do see some new ones popping up from time to time that I am adding.
So we'll do a cutoff point here, shouldn't we? So you don't have to do it anymore. Let's do a cutoff point.
This is pretty difficult to keep up with.
Yeah, no, the cutoff point is happening in 3, 2,
1, and do this number right here. There you go. All right, that's the cutoff point. So now you have all of anybody on now is just going to get to see who the winner is.
But you have to be on live to win. So if you're not there when we call your name, we go to the next person. Now, Jason, if I have this right, you're taking these names. You've assigned everyone's name and number, and you're going into an auto number generator at this point.
I'm on the number generator currently. Are we ready to do this?
Guys, are we ready?
I was going to show you something cool on Thingiverse, but I guess we can do that later. I'm being serious. There's a really cool thing.
We have 15 minutes of the podcast, so
Uh,
I
right,
wanted
we're
to do
gonna
this at 3/4 in.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Here we go. I'm hitting the button. 79. If you're number 79,
79.
contact me. No, okay. Let me see who it is.
Oh.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Robert Saber.
Robert Saber.
Robert, if you could just give a little chat ping and make sure that you're here.
And saying,
Bing.
I'm
And
Robert
you
Saber.
just won. Hold it up, Jason.
You've won the goggles. I'm looking for his name. I'm looking in the chat.
We're waiting for Robert Saber. Now, is this like at an event where they have a certain amount of time to run up to grab the thing before
You
we
have
call?
10 seconds to respond. No,
10.
well, we'll see. I'm going to give him a few
There's a
minutes.
delay. So.
9. Oh, well, I'm watching it live on the everyone. I had a camera issue, and I'm actually using this totally separate subject
There it is.
computer.
There it is. Yes, you got it. All right,
Glad we
Robert, I'm going to need you to send me your address. If you're on RC Groups, you can send me a PM or you can email me to jcole, that's JCOLE, at rcgroups.com.
The world's largest.
Studmuffin.edu.
And
RC
also,
network.
one rule we have, man, is we want a picture of your head with the goggles on. We want to show that in a podcast.
If you don't post that, you got to send them back.
Send them back with your head.
Yeah.
No.
So I wish I could find. So on Thingiverse yesterday, we were looking around, and because we had our 3D printer chat yesterday, live chat, which actually turned out extremely well. We were a little bit scared that talking about 3D printers on an RC podcast was a bad idea, but we got a lot of feedback from everyone that said apparently a lot more people than we thought fly model airplanes and also are interested in 3D printers. So we got a lot of positive feedback from people. In fact, one guy said he showed his wife the podcast and she's like, okay, you can get a 3D printer now.
Wow.
So
Nice.
we did very well. But anyway, I was
Show
on
this to my wife.
I know, right? So I was looking around on Thingiverse yesterday. I found a 3D printed hovercraft that uses the fan blades and parts from a Tiny Whoop.
No
from
way.
a Matrix. Yes. So please talk amongst yourself while I find it real
Oh,
fast.
I want to make that.
Nikolai, we haven't asked you what is going on in your RC world.
Oh, all kinds of things. So I've got the big stick, 96.5 inches. That I'm going to be flying some more on Monday, get some more footage, finish up that review. And then on my workbench is the Phoenix Models Spitfire 60cc.
That's a
So-
classic, I think, the big stick. And
That
that thing is a
should be
monster.
Really nice, yeah.
And how's your weather up there, down there, over there?
Right now it's nice. It's about 56 degrees. Over the weekend though, it's going to be down in the 30s.
Awesome.
All right, I found it. I'm presenting. Here we go. You guys ready?
Let's see.
Let's see this.
Look at this thing.
Can't see it.
I don't see anything.
Why not?
I don't
I'm
see it.
sharing.
See that?
It's your
I don't
hand.
see it.
Am I not
I
sharing?
see your head.
Can you
Nope.
see it now?
Is it
I see your
is it a
boogers.
3D print of your face?
What the heck,
Boogie
man?
boogie.
All right, hold on. Let's try this again. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to
You got
present.
some lunch in your beard still, though.
Thanks, buddy. And then how about now? Let me know if it pops up.
Nope.
Nope.
You.
Where's that technical difficulties thing that pops up there?
That's amazing that you can make such a great license on Matt Gunn with a 3D printer.
All right, how
There it is.
about now?
There we
There
go.
it is.
There
Got
it is.
Okay, so here's the little hovercraft with the Tiny Whoop fans and stuff like
That's
that.
awesome.
Now, it looks really cool. I think it might, if you look at it right here, there's the bottom skirt, there's the fans, and here's the bottom skirt that pumps out the air.
I just happen to have an extra tiny whoop right now, too.
And then look, here's somebody running it around. I'm going to pause it here. Yeah, or not pause it, but you assume you can see this video. Look at it.
Huh? That's awesome.
Look at it go.
Hold
I
on.
want it. I
Oh,
want
sorry.
it.
We talked.
There you go. You're hot.
Okay, so you can see it moving around. He did it over here. There it is. So that's one. And then the other one that I saw that also uses the Inductrix system is this guy right here.
Yeah.
Right there. So actually, that's not the Inductrix system, but it is a little unique looking hovercraft. And I think this might be the next step in my RC adventures. Look at that. He threw it into the screen. He like threw it. He like launching a boat. All right. So this is this cool stuff that you can do with a 3D printer, y'all. And
I'm going to have to.
That's neat.
I'll have
That
to 3D
is awesome.
print a floor.
Yep. I wasn't even listening, so I just go, yep.
Unless you have to put extra for the hard then.
Hey, I wanted to talk about, I have an announcement to make. And before I do, we've already talked about what I'm about to show you. But there we go. Okay, so we do have an active contest on rcgroups.com for the FMS F7F Tiger Cat.
Gorgeous.
Leo at FMS became the forum sponsor for the Electric Warbird section. Yes, thank you. And he said, why don't we give away our most expensive plane? And I said, yes. Yeah, I've never spoken to Leo other than in emails. He's very prompt at replier, though. And I said, what did you say, Leo? And he goes, this plane is very good. And I was like, awesome. So you can enter here, go to RC Groups. You're like, Jim, how the heck, where are these things you're talking about? Go to magazine. You can go to all. It's probably not there, though. You can go to planes.
There she is.
And scroll down a little bit. That's a lot of play. And there's a contest. Now, the other contest that's still active right now is a graphics contest by Taildragger RC and RC Gadgets. You know, some people in this thread have said, I've never heard of RC Gadgets. You may not know who they are, but I went and looked at their factory site, and they make airplanes for people you know. So they didn't just pop up. I would tell you who those people were, but I don't want to get it wrong. So go there. And then also, and I'll turn off, check this out. You guys don't even know about this. So I was on the phone.
You don't even know.
You think you know,
But you will.
but you have no idea. I was on the phone with Hobbico yesterday and today. I'm sure that everyone got a message about the Hobbico situation at this time. And so, of course, I hit my contacts up to say, where are we? What's going on? I'm not a lawyer, but I am a guy who works with. Okay. Anyway, the end of the story is Hobbico is continuing as usual on RC Group's Flying Giants. And they're talked to the lovely Miss Natalie. That's who I was speaking with this morning. And she's business as usual and taking just Matt and Jason. She said it's just like every other day. And she's out there promoting and sending out her news blasts. And
Yep.
our message to them, this is kind of personal, I guess. My message to them was whatever we can do as a company to help support you and keep things moving forward is what we're going to do. And, you know, keeping a company like that rolling is good for the hobby, and losing them is definitely not good for the hobby. So anything we can do as a company to help them, we will. So then I said, well, you know what we need to do is have a contest on Flying Giants and RC Groups. And she said, Jim, I love that idea. What could we give away? So we have two things in line to give away, which everyone on this panel would want. I can say that. I can't say what it is until I know that it's locked down and sitting in a box in Natalie's office. And when that occurs, then I'll be able to create a contest thread on both sides, and you can go check it out. So
I know what it is. Based on what you just said, it's what everybody in here wants. I know what it is. You know what it is?
Tell me.
It's a Hobbico coffee mug. No,
Damn it.
am I wrong?
Damn it.
No. Oh, gosh. Okay, that's not it. It's a lanyard. It's got to be a lanyard, right? That says,
No, it's really
"Don't
good.
talk to the pilot."
Anybody here would want it.
Hobbico name tag.
Yes.
Listen, let me say this. I want to thank everybody who joined us live today. We tripled what we usually do on a live broadcast. And I got to say, even though we did draw the winner, only
They're
a
all still
handful
here.
of people left. Yeah.
They're all here, man.
Well, we're at a good number. And so thank all of y'all for taking time out. I know it's a work day, and I know it's in the middle of a work day, but this is when we actually work. And if we were to do this at night for 5 years straight, our wives would leave us. So that's why we do it at this time.
That's true.
Mean Joe stepped out. He had to go to that birthday party. I want to thank Mean Joe. I'm not officially ending the podcast, although we're only about 4 minutes out. But I did want to say thank you before people started falling away for joining us. Now, listen, we do it every week. You can hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, and then you get an email that says, hey, the guys are live. And I'll tell you something else. I talk a lot, but the second part of that is that we occasionally get information that we feel is too important not to broadcast, and we'll go straight into a live broadcast to discuss it, or have somebody from the company that involves on the site, on the YouTube channel to discuss. And so you never know when we're going to come on and talk to you about something.
Yeah,
Matt?
they're very popular too. Those are some of our most popular ones. In fact, when we had the live broadcast for the new Spectrum transmitter, what is that? The I something 12, the IX12. I was looking at our YouTube reports, and that is one of our most popular videos right now. Is that live broadcast? So that's a prime example. It was breaking news. We got Steve on, and he talked all about it. And there you go.
And the story
was really cool.
The story had over at this point in time 20,000 views. And I think
it's pretty good for a live broadcast, bud.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the video itself. Jason Cole, what's your RC plans?
My RC plans, I'm thinking about, I don't know, my wife had to go to work today. Normally she's off on Thursdays. But I was thinking about, there's an indoor, like tiny whoop micro class indoor racing at a Apex Raceway. It's like an RC car track, indoor track.
Oh, that sounds like
they're doing drone racing inside. I might go up there tonight. I've been itching to fly. I wasn't able to go Tuesday to the indoor event, so I want to go fly. I'm, you know, you get the itch and you just gotta scratch it. Like, let me go fly something, please.
Can you bring your the bigger version, the
FPV plus?
Yeah, that's what I'm bringing. That's actually tiny. They're running like some 3S, you know, stuff. Yeah, like really, but tiny, like just a little bit bigger than tiny whoops, but really, really fast. You know, keeps up with 5-inch quads and stuff outside, so it's crazy. But they also do a tiny whoop class for like the Indutrix pluses and stuff.
What's the one that Nikolai you did the review on? Was that an SP Maker?
Yeah,
95. Wasn't it like that? That's a good little quad, isn't it?
It is awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with that.
So that'd be probably a good one for that size range.
Yeah, yeah. I've been trying to get a little indoor Indutrix, races going over here, but I haven't had much luck.
Matt Gunn, check it out. You know what that is behind me that no one ever sees because I had to switch computers the minute before the show started.
The guitar on the back, or what is it?
That's my 3D printing workshop right there. See all the PLA hanging on the wall?
Oh yeah, and there's your blanket that was choking the the airflow to your.
And over here are the cow horns that I printed that you like so much.
I do like them cow horns, my man. You got your Gibson SG on the wall there.
Yeah, and then there's me as a small child playing electric guitar.
With a Thunderbird?
No, I don't know what that is. It's some kind of crazy. I don't
Jim,
know.
from a distance with the guitar on the back wall, the PLA spools look like records.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
That's just vinyl.
That guitar, the back of the guitar you see there is for my uncle's 1956 guitar. It's first guitar he ever had.
You better put it to use, man. Put it on something.
That guitar blew up. It's literally in 3 pieces now. It was made in 1956. Hey, guess what, everyone? You're at the end of the podcast. This is where we randomly go off topic.
That we do. We have a really good track record for bailing right at the end of the podcast when we're off topic.
Straight off topic. Let me ask a question to Nick. Nick, are you an online gamer?
I am an online gamer. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch lately.
Okay, I've been looking at that. Matt, are you still stuck on PUBG?
Absolutely. I love Battleground. It is my favorite game. And in fact, I told Jason and you what my newest strategy is. Jason tried it out and loved it. So if anybody plays Battleground, you'll know that obviously the objective is to stay alive as long as possible, make it to wherever the map it slowly closes in, kill everybody you can. And it's a game that you can either hide the entire time or you can try to confront people. What my new thing to do is to parachute in as fast as I can. I don't even get a gun. I don't go start looking through houses. I just find a vehicle. And then I troll people. I just bait them. I drive around honking the horn, just drive all around the board. And then when people start shooting at me, I just start driving in big circles. They never hit you. Yes, you can get a lucky guy who'll hit you through the car window and kill you. But most of the time, they just plink rounds off the side of your car. And I start baiting them, find out where they are, and then I go and run them over. And it is the best feeling when they come up over the hood and get stuck in the windshield of the car. And I'm still driving around honking, and I know that they're still looking at the third person going, this guy, who is this guy? And I'm going, and I'm jumping, and their bodies are ragdolling all over the car.
Like a deer on your hood.
Jason took it to the next level and got 5 or 6. It is amazing to get even 1 kill in this game if you're lucky. Sometimes you get 2 or 3. Jason got like 5 kills doing my method of
it was awesome.
Solely driving and killing people. Yeah.
I saw those honking people, and I was always like, what are they doing? But now
they're baiting people. They're the good players that want you to shoot so they can pull up, jump out of their car, and run up and kill you while you're frantically spamming the shoot button trying to hit them. But I realized that you can actually shoot from a vehicle by hitting control and hitting 1, 2, 3, or 4. It changes you to the 4 seats in the different car. So if you change
can you drive it?
No, but if you change to the passenger seat of the car, then you can press aim and you lean out of the car and you can shoot.
So Matt, I researched the guy that did that. He was in a nasty divorce and he made it back home to Ireland. You know about, did you read this?
Yep, I did, but go ahead.
He became a modder and he started modding another game to be more like what he wanted to play, which is this game. And then it totally separated. And the company that funded PUBG, they said his name kept coming up when they were trying to make their game. And so they just brought him on. Yep.
So he was a graphic designer, and he had very limited coding experience. So he brought this idea to a South Korean company that wanted him on. They said, we want you on this. And the rest is history. And PUBG is one of the most popular games out right now.
It's the #1 game on Steam, beating out everything. And he did like $2 million in 11 days in sales. $2 million in sales in 11 days.
At $25 a pop, go figure, man. That's amazing. Great game.
I'm GTA in it right now, which I know is stupid, but
it's all good. Grand Theft Auto is a lot of fun.
I really enjoy 3D landscapes, and I have not seen anything better looking than this. As far as, like, I went into a biker, it was in the desert. It was a little biker trailer park. They had a stage. I just walked around. There was one biker there, right?
So I know that town. I've been there.
Yeah, well, I was like, this is awesome. I want to live here, which you couldn't. But there, I went in the mobile home, and the biker's on the couch, and I walk up to him, and what will he do? And he goes, I don't care. I was like, awesome.
That's a fun game. I got tired of it kind of quickly doing missions. I just drive and, you create as much mayhem as possible. And then I'm like, I'm done.
It's just a de-stressor.
It is a de-stressor.
Jason, are you still on the Olympic team for Oculus Rift?
No, but I am still currently the champion sling gun quick draw champion.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nice. I'm the quick draw champion in the game called Dead and Buried.
What don't you excel at, man?
Yeah, really. Dang it. My son and I play Dead and Buried together. He'll be up in his room and I'll be down here. My problem is that sometimes I hit the roof with my controllers.
Oh, yeah. I've been playing I've used, what is it? Hot dogs, hand grenades, and horseshoes or something like that. I've been doing that one a little bit, but I haven't done much Oculus. I'm looking at my Oculus Rift up there. I haven't really done much rifting lately. So,
well, that was 5 minutes of non-RC discussion, but it was 3:05, so that was legal. We legally went off topic. We still have more viewers than usual at this. We just went up in viewers.
Yeah, we did.
All right, y'all. It's time to get to work.
You know what? I need to tell a story. Matt, do you have a story you want me to tell? Well, I will end it with a good story.
Oh, man, there's just so many stories that you have. I don't know. You can tell me something. How about your LA Riot experience?
There's not really a funny ending there. I was in LA working in the movie business, not working that day, watching TV, and live breaking in was the initial Reginald Denny incident, right? I don't know. This story once again is most of my stories are not. Anyway, the highway patrol were leaving the scene, and so I was loading up to get I had a CJ5 Matt, which we've discussed, and I was loading up to go down there to help Reginald Denny, and the phone rang, and it was Kirk Cameron who said, "Don't go down there." And then I got a beep through, and it was another guy, and the other guy was Orson Welles' son.
What?
And yeah, Sasha Wells was my best friend in LA, and he goes, "Jimmy, we got to go help that guy." So anyway, the riots weren't just where you saw it in downtown. I was in North Hollywood, and there were hippies like me rioting up the street in like Guitar Center, like breaking out the glass of guitar. No one saw that.
We need hippie drums, man. Right.
If you had 30 of me walking down the street stealing guitars, that was happening. So the whole town was blowing up, and there was a 6 o'clock curfew. And so what we did is we bought a ton of barbecue and a bunch of bullets. And we went to Sasha's house. Right, if you play GTA, you know where the Vineland sign is, and those houses in Vineland are.
Yeah,
that's where Sasha lived. So we were there making barbecue, and all these actors and actresses who were, boy, the more I tell the story, the less I think I should tell it. Anyway, it was quite an experience. It was so surreal because everything was suspended. No one was paying bills. You couldn't go to work. So it was a full week police lockdowns. And so the neighborhood where we were at, we would take turns guarding the road into the neighborhood. So I had a riot shotgun that my dad sent me via FedEx.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your father sent a shotgun via FedEx to you.
Yeah. So he said, "What do you have?" And I said,
"Wasn't it wrapped in tinfoil?"
That's illegal. Yeah. So he wrapped it in tinfoil, and 2 days later I had a shotgun. And then Sasha had a semi-automatic something or other. So the most amazing part to me about all of this is the police would drive up and see us, hippies with guns. And they would pull up and look at us and then give us a knowing nod, like, "Great job, you're doing good work here," and then
Absolutely.
Just drive away.
See, and then it was sort of the "you're one of the good guys" thing.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes, it was insane. I'll end with this. We would be eating barbecue because you couldn't leave, but we had a balcony below the Hollywood sign that looked over Hollywood, and you would go look, and you could see buildings being burned, like, you know, they're burning buildings downtown with news helicopters watching the whole thing. And then you could step into the house and look at the TV and see the footage from the helicopter in the sky shooting the building that you're watching burn from your deck.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Super.
And we can't leave yet. I got to find a photo of you, Jim. So anyway, keep talking.
Well,
this story called Bullets and Barbecue.
So that was probably, I was in the mudslides. First I was in the forest fires, and I lived in Topanga Canyon up in the mountains, and I didn't leave. And so helicopters would fly over at night, and they would, in the PA system, tell me, leave the area. And I'm 22. I'm not leaving the area. A forest fire. What could go wrong? You know? And then of course I lived through that. And then the mudslides came, and I lived through that. But really, the end of the story is, I forgot this is the end of the story. The end of the story is I had 6 bad relationships, and that's what drove me out of Los Angeles. Not the riots, not a 7.5 earthquake, but the crazy chicks.
That's nice, man. That's
how we doing, Matt? I'm curious what you're going to find.
I found it, everybody. I need to share screen real quick.
And as we're doing that, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Join us next week. Tell your friends. Increase the hobby. Make it bigger. Grow this thing. Tell small children.
I actually have a picture of Jim at the LA riots. You guys ready? Okay. Am I presenting to everyone? Is this
always sees your face?
I don't see your screen.
Okay, here we go. You ready? Here we are. What is
what?
That's not me at the LA riot.
That is Jim taking a picture of a policeman at the LA riots.
Well, this is where I trained for Joe Nall. That's my everyone back.
That's funny, man.
You know what? I do have a picture of me at the LA riots with a 12 gauge and smoky buildings burning in the background. I'll find it for the next podcast. I'll share it with you, Matt.
I don't know if I was supposed to share that picture or not, but that was pretty funny.
Well, I learned my skills the hard way. All right, Nick. Nick and me, Joe, even though you're gone, thanks for joining us. Matt and Jason, a pleasure as always. And to all of you out there, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a message in the thread or PM us if you have anything you want us to talk about. That would be awesome. And we'll see you next week, Thursday, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time.
All right, all right.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down now. Joe Nall, 2018. Be there.
How am I
All
doing
of
now?
your B square.